everyone, welcome to the programme. I'm Rebecca McLaughlin-Easton, and this week we're all dressed up with somewhere to go as we step inside the world of fashion and design. We walk a day in the stylish shoes of Syrian couturier Rami Al Ali, who has made the likes of Beyoncé and Jennifer Lopez red carpet ready.
I'm so not faithful when it comes to Musa. I'm a typical Middle Eastern, I think.
Later in the show, we'll visit one of Lebanon's most famous landmarks. It's called Musa Castle, and we'll get the backstory on the man who built it with his own hands. But first, dressmaker to the stars Rami Al Ali has made the UAE his home and Paris his professional playground. But who is the man behind the fashion empire? We went along to meet him to find out. In a flurry of Swarovski crystals, pearls and champagne chiffon, 17 pieces from Rami Al Ali's fall-winter collection sashayed down the runway at the Ritz Hotel in Paris. It marked the 16th collection the Syrian-born designer has rolled out in the couture capital of the world, and this time the gowns were inspired by the glamorous café society set of the late 19th and mid-20th century. VIP clients looked on, as did some of the private buyers of celebrities who wear the designer's gowns. And his A-list fans include Jennifer Lopez, Helen Mirren, and Nancy Ajram. According to the Dubai Design and Fashion Council, the MENA region's fashion sector will be worth around $55 billion this year, having grown on average by 6% per year since 2014. Rami has been in business since 2000, and whilst traditional embroidery and motifs of his Syrian homeland often feature in his structural feminine silhouettes, Dubai remains his base. He's operating in a competitive industry where one-off gowns can fetch hundreds of thousands of dollars, and in recent years Rami has branched into ready-to-wear, children's wear, a high-street shoe collaboration and a bridal line. The diversification of his core business is something the designer says came about organically, as a natural evolution, rather than through pressure in what some analysts are calling a challenging retail market. To find out more, Inspire spent a day with the entrepreneur at his UAE atelier. Rami, it's great to see you. A warm welcome to Inspire Middle East.
Thank you very much.
Talk to me about the current business climate for couture. Are the Asian and Gulf clients still driving your business forward?
It's a bit difficult for us to read the new rules of the game. The clientele has changed. We have the millennials that we've always had the young client in the past, but we used to speak to this client particularly through her mother. So we would definitely have the catalog sent to the mother. We would speak to the aesthetic of the mother, to the taste of the mother. But now with the rise of the social media, we're speaking directly to them. So I think it's just a matter of language barrier to understand what exactly they need, what do they want, how do they appreciate things.
By its very nature, the world of couture is exclusive. It's for the privileged few, not least because of the price tag. How do you respond to those who say it's therefore not sustainable in the long term?
I would argue that as a couture designer. On the contrary, actually, when you look at the couture pieces, most of it's timeless. So it's something that you don't really buy per season. It's something that you keep for a long time. And a lot of my clients, they have things that they borrowed from their mothers or their grandmothers. So on the contrary, it's more collective pieces than just pieces you buy similar to the fast fashion or the ready-to-wear.
You and your contemporaries in this region are coming increasingly to the fore, dressing celebrities at the Oscars, the Emmys, Cannes Film Festival, most recently in your case. Do you believe this is something of a golden age for Arab designers, and if so, why?
Yes, it is. It's a new industry for the Middle East. We just start being involved in that scene, on the past 20, 30 years, which is nothing in the history of fashion. It's the natural evolution also for all the effort that most of the designers did. There's definitely a big presence for designers in the international market, not just on the red carpet.
Do you feel, as a designer, that there's more pressure on you than ever before? We've got a more packed Fashion Week calendar than ever in history. Fast fashion, rapid consumerism continues to rise. How do you feel positioned right now? Do you feel the pressure?
Of course, it's way much more than before. I mean, it's not just fashion weeks. I mean, now with the social media, you literally designing a collection every couple of weeks. The same collection, you need to show it differently. You need to re-study it differently, so the client don't really see only one direction of the collection. You need to be likable. You need to show a good taste, references. So now it's not just the product, but also the persona and the surrounding. It's much, 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 much difficult than what the people think. But now with the the evolution of the internet, everything is exposed. So it's very risky to repeat or create something that had been seen or has similarity with something that has been established already.
Is there a muse, someone that you would love to dress that has eluded you so far? Who would it be and what would you dress them in?
I'm so not faithful when it comes to muse. I'm a typical Middle Eastern, I think. There is definitely a very specific direction and aesthetic to the brand from its existence, but I'm not a big believer of one certain muse that keep inspiring the brand.
You're a proud Syrian. You are the only boy in a family of 4 other girls. You had a love of design from a very young age. Talking of your homeland, do you get to revisit it often, and what do you make of the current situation there?
I do try to visit every now and then. I had a bit of break at the time where there was, the conflict rising, and just starting from last summer, actually, I started going back to the heritage, to the inspiration, to the places where it built my creative character. I try as much as I can to stay in touch. I did debut a few collections. It was my first collection to the international scene called Damascus Rose in 2009 in Rome. And then after that, it was in 2012 when we moved to Paris. It was the Women on the Orientalist paintings, where I did a lot of the Syrian graphic, the Syrian craftsmanship, the mother of pearls, those beautiful mosaic motifs. It comes always directly or indirectly in my work. The roots always there.
Rami, thank you so much for speaking to me today.
Thank you for being here.
There's a heritage museum in Lebanon located about an hour's drive from Beirut, and in peak season, it attracts around 1,000 visitors each day. Both the interior and the exterior of the castle have very interesting tales to tell, as Lena Molana Allen discovered upon a recent visit.
High in the hills above Lebanon's capital, Beirut, is the road to Deir el-Amr. The area is home to many historic buildings, among them ancient churches and Ottoman palaces. But one building stands out on the horizon, an imposing castle hanging off the mountainside. But this isn't one of Lebanon's famous Crusader castles. It's only been here 60 years. Its creator was Musa al-Mamari, a poor villager born in the shadow of the ancient Crac de Chevalier castle. He died in 2018, and his son Ziad is now the co-manager of the site.
So this is the dream of his life. He fulfilled the dream. He became a symbol to all the generations that nothing is impossible.
Ziad's father first dreamed of building his own castle at just 14 to impress a local girl he loved.
She used to humiliate him and ridiculed him by saying, "You have nothing, Musa. You're poor." She let a palace occupied his mind, always thinking of it day and night.
After years of working on famous Lebanese landmarks, Musa had built up the skills and the finances to make his dream a reality. In 1962, the foundation stone was laid, but it would take another 38 years to complete.
He built it by his own hand, by himself, stone by stone. He carved every stone, and every stone has a different design. As you see, every stone, it's a piece of art.
Musa wanted his castle to be a monument to his love for his country. Now it doubles as a museum, welcoming hordes of tourists every year. The place is a treasure trove of historical artifacts and curiosities spanning over 2 millennia. Weaponry, jewelry, coinage, crockery. Alex Karoum, an Australian of Lebanese origin, brought his son and nephew on a day trip here to teach them about their ancestors.
Well, it's really amazing because the stuff that's in here is as early as my father and his parents. So I've got little examples of different things like that, how they grind the wheat, the wool, and just a number of different things that that I haven't experienced myself, but my father has, and his grandparents, it was part of their, and my grandparents was part of their life.
And if you look hard enough, you'll find a few surprises. A life-size reproduction of the Last Supper, and even a repaired drawing of the castle, as imagined by a teenage Musa, which his teacher destroyed and told him it was a crazy dream. Since Musa's death, the castle has been managed by his 3 sons, and they have big plans. They're building a restaurant for visitors, and will keep adding to the castle's collection to keep their father's memory alive.
We as a family are determined to carry on the task that my father made, and our work is still continuing, and I'm sure his soul is always with us.
Well, that is a wrap of our show. We hope you enjoyed it, and don't forget you can catch all of our episodes online at euronews.com. Before I say goodbye, here are some fashionable people that caught our attention on social media. Influencer and DJ Tala from Syria stood out in this Rami Al Ali gown at a Lebanese wedding. Model Aya from Egypt shared this fun fashion photo, saying her style reflects her personality. And Kathy took this picture from inside the kaleidoscopic rooms of Musa Castle in her home country, saying she was impressed with what she saw.